Who needs hall sensors? So I'm running in sensorless mode, and it's actually working really well. A very interesting ride with the noisy boy today, and the thermistor that's embedded in his windings. Oh! What's up, dudes? So this is the inside of the noisy boy. This is my 6.5T Tech G62. So I'm putting a thermistor in the noisy boy so we can keep an eye on the motor temperatures. Alright guys, so I just had to turn off the camera for a few minutes. I was swearing, a little bit upset, but so something throughout the process of upgrading my motor, we've downgraded the hall sensors and they're not working anymore. So alright guys, we're getting ready to take out the noisy boy. Here it is. Here's the noisy boy, 6.5T Tech G62. I put the thermistor in it. It's going back in the shell. We got a little bit of the Mobilith. We got some of the Mobilith in there. The Mobile SHC 100, so that's what we're using. I've learned my lesson. You don't need that much grease, you just need some grease. Easiest way to grease it is just kind of wipe it down in here on the side of the clutch assembly and the nylon gear, and then spin the gears around, and we'll mix it all up in there. I wiped some of it just around in a circle in there, and now it's going back in. Okay, so we push it in there, give it a little bit of a twist. Oh yeah, ho yeah, buddy. Alright, let's get this thing back on the bike. Okay, it's back on there. I just spared you a lot of time and stuff. And we're not even going to talk about it or think about it. We're just going to think about this bike ride that we're about to go on. So I'm going to program the flip ski again in the stand, because when you switch the motor up, or if you switch the wiring, the phase wires, like if you disconnect, I disconnected my wiring, so I want to make sure that all the phase wires and everything is all synced up. So we're going to do the motor detection. So let's go onto my phone. We'll start a screen recording. 3, go. Alright, so we're on my phone. We are in the VESC tool. We're going to turn on the flip ski. Connect. Alright, we're connected, boys. Oh, let's connect again. Alright, so here we are. Motor temperature's working, 23C. Looks good. So let's do setup motors. Setup motors. Alright. I'm going to hit no to load default parameters because I have a bunch of things I want to save. Hit next. Large outrunner. Override. Max power loss. We're going to be doing 275. Just a little bit more than my recommended settings. 5,000. Motor pulse is 100. Alright, so configuring my battery, it's already set up 20 series, so that's 72 volts. Alright, so we're going to go battery current max. Let's set it up to 30 amps. We're still going conservative with that. 30 amps, because we're on 72 volts. So 30 amps on 72 volts is a little bit more than on 48 or 52 volts. So let's go next. Direct drive, it basically just means it's a hub motor. Wheel diameter for my wheels is right. Motor pulls 100. So for the motor pulls, there's been a lot of confusion about this in the comments, right? And people saying I'm wrong. So I've sat here and I've physically looked in the rotor. I'll do it right now, just to clear up any confusion about how many magnets are in the G62. Can you see them right there? Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's about 20. Do you believe me? There's 20 total magnets in here, right? So it's a big circle. You can see them right here. You can count them yourself. I'm not going to sit here and do it, but there's 20 magnets in here. And people that are talking with conviction saying that I'm wrong, and it's like, okay, whatever. Now, let's not let those shitty comments slow us down. Run detection. Okay, Okay, so this is what we got. Motor current is 78. Uh-oh. Oh, no. No. Why is it... Why? Alright guys, so I just had to turn off the camera for a few minutes. I was swearing, a little bit upset, but... So something throughout the process of upgrading my motor, we've downgraded the Hall sensors and they're not working anymore. So we don't have Hall sensors. We're gonna try running this thing in sensorless mode. Let's go. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So we're just out on the dual hub motor fat bike. I just got done working on this rear hub motor. We've got the rear hub motor, the rear G62, hooked up to the Flipski 75100 Pro V2 controller. We're gonna take it out for a spin, take it out for a rip. We're in the VESP tool on my phone, and I've got it on the screen. We're gonna go for a ride here. I call it the noisy boy because when I first tried it out, it was just like noisy, and I don't know if the clutch assembly wasn't like pressed on there all the way or what. We're gonna see if it's still noisy today. So we're gonna ride the noisy boy around. We're gonna see how the motor temperatures fare, see how warm it gets. We'll go cruising around. Beautiful day, beautiful day. So let's see how this temperature sensor works. All right, here we go. So when we're in the VESP tool, you can see down on the bottom right, there is the motor temp. So that's what we're going to be paying attention to throughout this ride. I'm going to try to get my camera up a little bit here. So something else that happened, and I talked about this in the garage footage a little bit, but something else that happened was so this is my G62 that I got from Tech. It was a brand new motor until I started dinking around with it. And then when I was putting the temperature sensor in there, the Hall sensor circuit board was like glued down onto it, which that's new to me. I think Tech must have done that. And so I don't know what happened or what I did, but at some point throughout working on installing that thermistor, I messed up one of the Hall sensors. And so when you're taking out that circuit board off of the stator, the Hall sensors can kind of be stuck down in the little slots that they fit into. So I must have pulled on the Hall sensor circuit board too hard, and each thermistor has 3 little legs that kind of hang down from it. I probably messed up a leg on one of the Hall sensors. I was just confused back there about whether there was like who had the stop sign there, but it's just like this weird entrance to the neighborhood where there's no stop sign for anybody. You just gotta figure it out. But so yeah, I messed up one of the Hall sensors. So when I did the motor detection in VESP, it came up as sensorless because it didn't detect the Hall sensors. One of them wasn't working. So we are running in sensorless mode right now. And it's actually working pretty good. I was Man, I got really disappointed when I realized that I messed up a hall sensor. No! Why is it... Why? But I'm pleased to report that the sensorless mode in VESC works pretty good with my G62. Alright, there's like a tractor on the road or something up here. But, so I'm running in sensorless mode, and it's actually working really well, so that's good. Nylon gears came in the mail, so I can experiment with slightly higher phase amps again. Not too concerned about breaking a nylon gear today, buddy. But yeah, sensorless is working good. I'm surprised. I only noticed one little kind of like slight jerk when I first started out. But otherwise, I'm pretty impressed because I never had much luck with the sensorless on the phase runner. So it was kind of tricky to get that thermistor into my motor. There was a lot of like surprises and like little obstacles that I didn't expect were gonna happen. But we got it. We're out here. It's working. What does it say? 78. 78. Trying to hear if the noisy boy is still noisy. I don't know. It's really windy out. I can't even really hear myself. What is going on up here? So I don't know what else is going on. Let's get this camera up a little bit higher. So in the comments, there's been a lot of confusion about magnetic poles and magnetic pole pairs and how many poles and how many pole pairs are in the G62. So maybe I'll just put that to rest right now and we can talk about it. So in the G62 on the rotor, there are 20 total magnets. I counted them one by one with my very own eyes and I double checked it. There's 20 total magnets in this motor. So if you divide that by 2, that's 10 pairs, right? But
it's a geared hub motor, right? So when we're entering our poles, our magnetic poles, or our magnetic pole pairs into VESC or into the phase runner suite, phase runner wants the pole pairs, so that's one number. But then VESC wants just the poles, so that's different, right? So these are two different numbers, the poles and the pole pairs. So in VESC, how we configure this motor, right? So there's VESC wants the poles, magnetic poles, but it's a geared hub, so you've got to factor in the reduction of that gearing to your poles. So it's the gearing is 5-to-1 in these geared hubs. So it's got 10 magnetic pole pairs. It's got 20 magnetic poles. But we don't just enter in 20. We've got to multiply that by the gearing. So 20 times 5 is 100 motor poles. That's the effective motor poles. So there's been a little bit of confusion about that, about magnetic poles, magnetic pole pairs, and effective poles. So you could say that the G62 has 20 poles, and you would be correct because it has 20 magnets. But in VESC, we want those effective poles. So it's 20 times 5, 100, right? So that is how you set the motor poles in VESC. You want the effective motor poles, 20 times 5, 20 magnets times the gearing, 5. I think the Noisy Boy still is a little bit noisy. Like if I just gently pedal, Sensorless doesn't have any problems at all, really. And when you're in tough resistance terrain like this, I'm usually pedaling anyways, so I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. Some people just totally remove that Hall sensor circuit board out of the motor because you can vent your motor. And if you take that circuit board out, there's actually better airflow in the motor. So one of the optimizations that you can do is just get rid of that Hall sensor circuit board and just take it out completely. Especially if you're using the flip ski and you don't need that speed signal that coming through the motor wire. All right, let's see how this Sensorless starts up. So we're kind of testing Sensorless, and we're seeing how hot the motor gets. Okay, so I'm gonna try and bring this camera up high here. I think I'm gonna raise my seat a little bit. I noticed in my video, in my other videos, when my seat is lower, like the bars are just way too high in the video. So let's try and fix this a little bit. There we go. So now I'm up a little bit further, and you guys should have a better view, hopefully. Hey. So we're going down the wood chip trail. Sensorless is working pretty good. I'm actually surprised with how good the Sensorless works in Vesk, because when I tried it in the Phase Runner with the Grin Tech stuff, like it took some dinking around with, and even then I never totally got it working very well. It was always kind of like jerky when it was starting up. So I'm surprised how well Vesk comes up with the defaults that they did, because I didn't have to do anything, and they work so far. It's like 99% works for me. Those Hall sensor circuit boards are like maybe like $15 or something, $20 maybe. But if I don't need Hall sensors, then whatever. Who needs Hall sensors? It says the motor's 83. I don't know what the deal is with people crossing the street, but it's like they stand by the side of the road and then they're just looking, but they're not crossing, they're just standing. Where should we go put Sensorless to the test? Let's see, is the GoPro still going? I got 27%, so we gotta be careful here. We gotta keep an eye on this GoPro. I think if we go down here and we just kind of turn around like this, and then so this is a hard spot for Sensorless to start up, going up a hill. So what happens if we're rolling backwards kind of, and then we... Oh. Yeah. So I put some different nylon gears in this thing because I was like putting it back together, and I'm trying to figure out why is this thing so noisy. But I think it's just in the Noisy Boy's nature to be noisy. So motor is at what, 91? Let's see here. I gotta go look at my temperature sensor settings. Okay, so it says the motor's at 94. What does that feel like? So it's starting to feel warm. But I felt it much, much warmer. So let's go into the motor config. Let's take a look at general temperature. NTC 10K, so all that stuff is working great. So, but then what about... So I think we can turn this off because I'm not using regen, this thing. Right. That acceleration temperature decrease. That's for when you're using regen. And then so motor temp cutoff start 115, cutoff end is 120. So I might make this less like 110 on the cutoff start and then 120 on the end. Okay. So let's do the sensorless throttle only. What happens? Oh. So I wonder... GoPro overheated. Special notice. Due to high water, a river-wide slow no-wake rule is currently in effect on the St. Croix River. Operate of a motorboat at the slowest possible speed to maintain steerage. All right. Sensorless? Sensorless is probably not great for riding in the sand, I would say. So 95. What does 95 feel like? Definitely starting to feel warmer, but I've definitely had it way hotter than that. I suppose we better get the thumbnail of some kind of a thumbnail for you bubs. Susan, is this good enough for you? Susan got fired. Who's the new YouTube guy? Oh. Alright, here we go. So this is where we can give Sensorless the ultimate test, like down in the rut. Is like, can we get out of the rut with Sensorless? So what did it say? It said absolute overcurrent right there. I don't know. I mean, let me know, guys. Could you live with sensorless mode? Where, like, if I'm just trying to full throttle from a stop, it's, well, I think we could have maybe gone there. But sometimes, like, if you're about to, like, roll backwards down a hill and you're in sensorless mode, like, sometimes it's a little bit funny getting started. But, I mean, I think it's this open loop current boost. Like, is that supposed to help? So let's, oh, it's like, it's just like, it's a heavy bike and it's like trying to roll backwards down a hill. So the controller it's very confusing for the motor controller. But the thing is like, if I pedal, it doesn't take, like, I'm not pedaling hard at all. And it's like, that's not a problem. You just gotta pedal and help a little bit. I think we might need a little bit more air in every tire. After that, it seems like, did we... I don't know if I don't know. I don't hear any puncture. There is like a large hole in this tube, but it's got a whole bunch of flat out in it that's somehow miraculously like keeping me going. All right, so let's do the front motor too. Oh. I think the other thing about when you're using sensorless is, like, if you have dual motors, like I have this front motor that's got Hall sensors, and if I if I really am having some kind of problems, I can always just hit the front motor. Whoa, deer, that was crazy. I don't think I've ever been that close to a deer that was still alive. Noisy boy is still noisy. Maybe the nylon gears just need to break in a little bit, I don't know. It's a Brompton or something. Oh. I wonder if the GoPro somehow? So, let me know in the comments. Can you live with sensorless? Are you a sensorless bro? Could you live with it? Or do you need your hall sensors? So the motor's at 101. What does this feel like? That doesn't feel very hot. So we might have to boost this a little bit. Oops. All right, so the cutoff starts at 115, cutoff end is 125. And it's at 96. Let's feel it again. Oh. A little bit warmer, not much. I want to go this way. So what is that, 97? I'm just kind of curious because like sometimes it takes a while for the heat to start hitting the outside, so now it feels warmer than it did before on the outside of this thing. But I don't, and I'm just trying to gauge the actual temperature from just like how it feels, because that's what I'm used to. But it's still, I wouldn't even call that like very warm. So sensorless, go. We did it. Throttle only. All right, we're just on the noisy sensorless boy. Who is not only noisy, but now also sensorless. What is it at? 97. So I've noticed it seems like once it kind of heats up, it doesn't really cool down. It just kind of stays warm. I think it's 70 something outside today, maybe 75, like tops. It says 100. I can't really see my phone screen or how hot it's getting here. I might as well just like turn the brightness down a little bit because I can't even see it. So that's one disadvantage of the flip ski and using your phone as a display, is that when it's bright outside, depending on your phone, I can't really see mine in the sun. even 100 doesn't feel warm to me. River looks pretty high. It's flooded. It's flooded even higher. It cooled down. I didn't even stop for very long. Let's take the Noisy Boy to Minnesota. We're giving the Noisy Boy the juice, boys. Oh. I'm just kind of watching how responsive the temperature sensing is. I went kind of light on the thermal glue. I put just a little bit of a thermal glue in between the windings and the thermistor, but I didn't like totally fill it in thermal glue. So let's sensorless test. Sensorless test. Oh. 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 I can live with sensorless. I'm a sensorless boy. Let's get this thing going, boys. Whoa. Whoa. What is happening by my bike path? Yeah, you guys better keep it over there. I should just go trucking out here at these workers. Go trucking out there. What do we get there? Whoa, 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 wait a minute. 107? 109? What does that feel like? Okay, so I would say when it starts to get closer to like 110, see, it already kind of feels like it's cooling down a little bit. So I bet my temperature cutoffs are pretty close here. Like 110, it's starting to feel warm, buddy.
Bridge is open, right?
What's that?
Bridge is open?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey. There's a bump there, but I was ready for it. Yeah, so it doesn't feel kind of warm. I don't know. Not bad. Let's see. GoPro? Thank goodness. GoPro's still going. Throttle only. Sensorless takeoff. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. So in that Grintech G62, well, in this one, in the Noisy Boy, the Grintech G62, the hall sensor board had a whole bunch of glue like underneath it, so it was like hooked to the windings. I was trying to yank it out, and the hall sensors just would not come out, like they were glued in or something. So I don't know if Grin just got like a special dose of Bafang or what, but my other G62 wasn't like that. The windings on this one do look cleaner, like they just look more neat, like coils. And when I tried my 6T one yesterday, it felt kind of weak. Let's see, what is my battery at? So we've used 8.8 amp hours. Well, there's a deer up there. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. He's got a hurt leg. He's got a broken leg. Ouch, that sucks. Bummer. No bueno. It's getting a little bit more difficult to keep up with the comments. I try to... Uh-oh. Oh, GoPro's still going. Nice. I'm not talking to myself. It's getting harder to keep up with the comments. I would say around 2K is when it starts to get a little bit tricky. I do some YouTube shorts here and there because it does seem to bring new subscribers. But it also brings a lot of comments from people that are kind of like new and they've never, they're kind of new here. They're new here. So you start getting a lot of like these comments from people that they've just showed up and they've watched your very first thing ever, and they've got a very strong opinion, about you as a human being. The comments could be something else. But we are just riding around the noisy boy. He is at 99 degrees. We're at St. Francis. We're back at St. Francis. Where's Rory? Where's Ash? Miss you, buddy. Oh. Every once in a while, Sensorless has a little bit of a brain fart when you're just giving it throttle only, but as long as you're pedaling a little bit. That pretty much covers it. Motor's at 102. 105. Did it just jump? What happened there? Let's see what this feels like. Oh. So it's it seems like it's a little bit jumpy. Like maybe that's a result of like airflow inside of the motor or something. I don't know. It just feels warm right now. It doesn't feel that warm. Oh boy, we've got a confused driver behind us. We better just go. Oh, they need to fix that bump. What was that noise? That was crazy. Okay, well, so let's see. It says 100. It's kind of weird. Like, when the temperature gets up to like 100 and something, it seems a little bit jumpy. And it's like 101, 103, 101, 103. It's kind of weird. So it's going down. I wonder how hot thermistors can get. Oh. I'm kind of cold. It's a good thing I wore this hoodie. I bet I've probably got this motor dangerously hot before, like borderline. Actually, not this one. This is the Noisy Boy. This is a new motor, but my other G62 that I've had for a couple years, that one, I have probably got that thing way too hot. Let's see. So, man, it still doesn't feel on the outside, like it doesn't feel very warm right now at all. So touching the outside of these is like a terrible gauge of how hot the inside of the motor is. If you're touching one of these motors and it's like, it feels like hot, like you can't really keep your fingers on it hot,
then I would definitely take a break for a few minutes. Because I've done that many times and I've never had a problem. I mean, I bet I've probably got these motors well past 115 before. Oh. Let's go back this way. I guess maybe this is a one-way. This is a confusing street. I always just go down it both ways on my bike, but it might be a one-way. It does seem like the thermistor's working fairly well though. Seems fairly responsive. If you have a thermistor just reading the air temperature at like a random place in the motor, it's not as useful because you can hit the throttle and give it a lot of power and the motor's heating up, but the thermistor, there's like a delay. If the thermistor's reading the air temperature, there's a delay between when the motor heats up and the air inside of the motor heats up. So it's not a very good reading, the air temperature inside the motor. But this thermistor is like basically physically touching the winding through some thermal glue. So this thermistor is like hanging out in the windings, buddy. It's in there. I gotta figure out how hot can thermistors get, because that one that was in my BBS02 that overheated got messed up. I think that thermistor, I don't think that one works anymore. It looks like it melted. I'm a little bit spooked of going much higher than like 115, because when I was riding that BBS02, that was the last motor, that was the last number that I saw
before the motor like broke and overheated and things were done was like 110 or like 115 or something on the display, and then that was it. And at some point the thermistor in that motor melted, so sun feels good. Nice day. Nice day to test the thermistor in the Noisy Boy. Can't see my screen. That's how we're rolling with the flip ski. Motor's at 100. No big deal. Garage sale. Man, my 7th gear feels a little bit funny down there. I think I might need to adjust my high limit. I'm actually probably pretty lucky that I've never like melted one of these motors, because when it gets up above 100, like that temperature gets jumpy, buddy. And it doesn't even feel hot. It's just like kind of warm on the outside. A very interesting ride with the Noisy Boy today, and the thermistor that's embedded in his windings. We gotta put a new GoPro. Go! Alright, we're back on the bus tool. Motor's at, I took a quick break. Motor went down to 89, so about 10C, just by taking a quick break for a couple minutes. And actually it feels warmer now than it did when it said it was 105, but I was riding around and then I just pulled over and stopped quick. What I've learned in this ride is that do not rely on just touching the outside of these motors to determine how hot they are. Like, if you touch it and it's too hot to leave your fingers on there, then stop. Like, if you can't leave your fingers on there for like 5 seconds, too hot. In that thread from Boosted, I think he said if you can't leave your fingers on the motor for more than like a second or two, then that is when you need to stop. But man, once it starts getting hot, the temperature, like if it's getting hot and you're giving it full throttle and not paying attention to the temperature, like didn't have a temperature sensor, I think it would be really easy to mess one of these motors up. I'm surprised that I never have. TBH. Let's see, are we going here? We're going. So I like the Noisy Boy. I like the 6.5T winding more than the 6T. It's more torquey. Seems a little more peppy. I think it's a little more noisy. Hence the name. But I like it. I think I can get used to this. It's kind of chilly. That sun went behind the cloud. Oh, we got sticks on the road. Better watch out for that. That was a branch. I'll run over sticks, but I don't know about a branch. Branches can be deceiving. Burr. I think we got a fault there. I was in a high gear, so I couldn't pedal it very good. Sensorless has some minor jitters, but I can deal with it. Oh. So we are gonna take the G62 up this big hill. See what the temps get to. Thanks, dude. Something went into my brake or something right there, and it sounded bad. I was scared for a moment. Alright, we're going up a hill. Noisy boy only right now. Make sure I don't lose my phone. This phone is falling apart. Once in a while my phone just jumps out of it. We're at 101. Log jam on the freeway Friday, 4 p.m. Good thing we're on an e-bike, boys. Thumbs up in the comments if you're on an e-bike. So I've done this ride home up that hill and then kind of just like continuously home many times, so we'll have to see what the operational temperature is here. There was a kid back there that screamed, "Nice bike." I don't get that very often, but I'll take it. I think it's pretty nice, and that's all that matters. Right, boys? Somebody's going to the racetrack down there, buddy. Man, the noisy boy feels better than my other one, for sure. Like, the copper windings in my other G62 that I got on AliExpress just look like sloppy, and they don't look like coils. but there might actually be like more copper in there and it's just smashed down in like a funny looking manner. It says 107. That's one thing I didn't research, is how hot can this thermistor get? Alright, let's see what it feels like this time. It said it was like 111 or like 107 a second ago. So I can still hold my hand on it, like it's not so hot that I can't hold my hand on it. What does it say, 103 now? But it's warm. The noisy boy sure is peppy. Alright, so here's a little bit of the hill. let's see how the noisy boy does. We're at 108. Something doesn't sound very good on that Jeep. Sounds a little floppy or uneven, unbalanced. Oh. Does it go higher than 111? Have we seen higher than that? What's my fucking doing? They got fucking crazy cars flying around. Jesus. Okay, so it said 113. Well, okay. We verified that it can show more than 111. What does that feel like? Quick feel. Oh, sprinkler. Yeah. Starting to feel warm. Oh! Guys, well, it's gonna be the video. It's been a good ride. Monitoring. Oh, I can't even hear myself talking. Monitoring. Oh, motor temperatures. It's been a good ride. What does it say? 111 again. That's like the cursed number. It always gets stuck at 111. That's the last number that I saw before my BBSO2 overheated, and I'm a little bit scared of it. So I'm glad that we saw a number higher than 111. We're gonna have to continue testing more in the future. See how hot this puppy gets without burning it up. So I'm gonna have to do some more research about that. But I think those are kind of normal operational temperatures for the G62. So are you gonna go? Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment, like and subscribe. Peace out. See you next time.